right, boys, December is definitely going to be a big month. And tonight we're going to lock in for the full game plan, the key levels, the liquidity pockets, the PSS trigger points that I'm looking for both shorts and long positions going into next month. And I will share these names with you. First, we'll go over these SPY analysis and we'll look at some of the ETFs. I will give you both a bullish and bearish scenarios. And then I'm not going to go over all the names again, but I made a watch list for December that you guys can copy and then have those names on your watch list. And if you see it's going above or below the trigger point, you can consider taking a risk. So the first, let's go with the SPY. What I think, very low volume push this whole to the upside, but it doesn't mean the structure is not bullish, but very clean. This monthly low sweep kind of closed above and just kept going higher. Not really a trade zone, this whole move higher, because most of the time it was just small gap up and chop. And most of the time price was in this internal range. So there was no really setups last week. So did close in this daily bearish pocket price made. And if you look at Qs2, it also closed above this swing highs, which is something I do not like, especially when the setup I'm looking at is bullish. I kind of see price to go down a little bit and then start to move higher from there. So if we look at NQ right now, there's a little bit of drawdown happening from the exact daily pocket that I marked. I also gave this setup to the members right here to short it in Discord, and then price is down almost to 200 points, hit my perfect target here, first one. So definitely more bearish here on the 4 hour. If we look at 4 hour, price also made this bearish pocket. This was a fresh one, so that was a kind of a change in trend in smaller time frames. But on a bigger one, I kind of want to see price move back up, retest it, and then dump back down. That would be a absolute top tier setup where it goes higher, makes lower lows and lower highs. Only then shorts would work. But at this point, shorts, there's no point. It's probably going to bounce from here. Right. So this is what I'm looking at going into the first week of December. And then the same setup, we look at SPY. Bulls really need to hold above this whole 675 zone. That's almost a 10-point move down from where this SPY is right now. So pull back here, bulls hold this low, and this continue pumping higher and higher. So this is what I'm going to be carefully watching, gap fill and bounce, but not right away. Probably goes in, and then I'm going to smaller time frame, look for a structure break, and once it's breaking structure, and then longs. But for now, I will just stay out of the market, or will only look for short if price opens in near this range, and longs only on confirmation of pullback. Let's go back on the daily time frame. If we see price looks like is in this wave 5 here, in this final push higher of this your lows here, 1 2 3 4, typically sideways for wave 4, and then wave 5 higher. 694, 721, and 742 is possible targets here on this next leg higher. So this is the bullish scenario. If we look at from wave 1 low to wave 1 high, that's the 30 or almost 14% move. And if I copy this exact move up here from the bottom, so we get almost 720 and to 730 move. So definitely going to be a big one, the next leg higher. And if you look at some of the setups, if you look at Google on the weekly time frame or monthly candles close to RSI is at 81, no monthly divergence here. So that means there's bears are nowhere need to be found on here, only longs here on the weekly time frame, on all only weekly pullback. Definitely not going to buy up here, but you guys get the point. Apple is at definitely one of the critical levels here. 275, 276, definitely going to be a big level to hold for this month. And it is the only tech name that is at all-time highs, even after this nice little correction we got. And mostly all the names dumped hard: Microsoft, Meta, Palantir, and multiple other names. But Apple, held its ground. But now is if it holds above 275, 276, definitely going to be a nice continuation higher too on it. You see what Apple usually does: very nice, slow, little choppy uptrend here. You can just follow these daily magnets here. 5-8, as long as it's holding that 5-8 magnets, it's going to be a clean trend higher on the daily time frame. Any break below, in that case, which means the Nasdaq needs to be all the way down here, which is already breaking down. So if this is a start of a new leg down right here, because price swept this internal range liquidity of 1 hour's bearish, right? So if plus is absolutely done, then Apple is definitely going to be the top short setup here on this failed breakout of this prior all-time highs. So that definitely a good setup for upside and downside. Just a one key level in between. Nvidia is going to be good to watch. All other names are definitely looking a lot bullish comparing to Nvidia when it comes to a semiconductor names. Look at AMAT, massive breakout here on the monthly time frame. You have this massive base breakout. Looks like it's going to go a lot higher. And if you look at MU, kind of same thing, already pumped a lot higher. Definitely not good buy. Intel is the one that I actually in my watch list. If you look, massive monthly sweep here and then pushing higher. So definitely going to 50 plus here, 49 or even 68, 69 is definitely possible for Intel on this massive monthly or yearly low sweep here. But back to NVIDIA here. If you look at NVIDIA on the monthly, not a great close. So the levels that I'd be watching, I gave the members level here, 184. As long as it's 184, it's going to dump hard. And it did go, made a new lows and dumped out 8% and another 5% after just pumping back up a little bit more on this short squeeze. So 185 is definitely going to be the big level going into the next month. Any pumps is going to be a nice sell to the downside with the targets of 164. It's a very clean external range liquidity targets here. Going back on the weekly, not clear targets. Bi-weekly is a good one. 157, 164 looks like a good targets here on the weekly time frame on Nvidia. Any break above 185, so then it's gonna print a clear higher lows and higher highs. Then buy the dip in play, but we'll see how that looks. And then we have Amazon. Amazon was on the bullish side because price already dumped a lot into this weekly bullish pocket and bounced back to for more confirmation. I think if bulls hold this weekly lows here, then can definitely pump back to this all-time highs. And it's also one of the lagging ones in it just in this chop for a long time. Try to break out, failed one. Now probably is gonna try again above 235, 238. We will find out. We have Meta. Meta's definitely looking bullish too on the weekly time frame and also formed this weekly bullish pocket. Any pullback in here, wait for. I don't think we're going to get a pullback. The way weekly candle closed pretty bullish. Probably just a continuation next week. Got a manipulation candle. Let's say is gaps down on Monday, and then let's say gap down to 630, 635, and then it breaks low of the day, sweeps that, and then closed back higher, and then starts pumping back higher and breaks the high of the day. That would be a really nice continuation setup on Meta on the weekly time frame to catch with the targets of 658 and all the way up here to 720 and 690. And then we have Tesla. Not a great close, but the reason is closed back in this daily bearish pocket and rejected to end of the day. And all I can see is also rejected on this of this golden pocket 60, and it's just bounced out of nowhere. To if the market is weak, I think alongside Apple, Nvidia, that Tesla is also going to be a good shot here. Break below 470 is going to be another nice fake out to play on this one, but no long. I don't like longs here. Only if it pulls back into this weekly bullish pocket, where there's a lot of concentration, probably a lot of buyers. Wait for daily change and then move higher, but no longs. Netflix, I took a loss on this one last week. I was pretty confident that they're gonna dump it this week, but got a fake out and closed above on low volume too. We got the daily sweep here, but I don't want to go longs just yet on it. I want to see like of this highs at least. This weekly highs needs to break 115. Only then I would consider it bullish. But at this point, it just looks like a classic break and retest of this massive range here. And it's already pumped a lot from the bottom. So a little bit of even more pullback would definitely make sense. We have this equal lows here at the bottom too. That can be a nice buy long term. RCL is the next one that I'm watching. Daily fake out here on this one. So I'm waiting for price to break below 264.71. Once it breaks, I'm expecting price to go back to this lows here, 244 and all that. So if any daily close above, price dumps and then you go sideways, and then we get any daily close back above 270, 269, that's going to be an absolute bullish move on RCL. Because if you look at Jets ETF, already trying to break out of this flag, and now it's just this massive resistance to looks pretty bullish to me. Then we have Airbnb, very bearish chart. Weekly broke down. Actually, took this swing to short one with the members. I think went up 400%. It was a very nice clean move to the downside on the daily chart. I think it's going to go back, test this 110 or possibly 100 level too on Airbnb. Very clean lower lows and lower highs on the weekly time frame. Adobe is also bearish below 332. Things can definitely work on this one too, with the targets of 278 on this one. I think we're gonna see a clean move. Adobe pretty soon, because we have this massive breakdown, low volume consolidation, and bulls failed to reclaim that high swing highs 332. Below that, I think a massive dump coming to 278 to sweep that, and then a possible reverse. ARM was a good one. I think it's probably going to follow Nvidia and the general market, but on the weekly time frame, we have a very clean sweep, just like Nasdaq, clean sweep, and wants to pump higher from here on the weekly time frame. But Nasdaq already pumped a lot higher, so the risk on this one is pretty low, only 127 on the longs, with a target of these highs. It's a massive range. Going to be a big one if price breaks above this 183. It's going to be a big move. This one I shared with you last week, Chipotle near bottom right here, attacked this weekly or monthly bullish pocket, and it started this sideways consolidation and finally broke out on this very high volume right here, and then continuation higher to breaking above the swing highs, which means now price found this very bullish pocket. Any pullback comes to this zone, bulls can come and defend this with the stops at 30, targets of this gap fill, and possibly 42 to 45 too on the weekly. If you look at monthly, very nice monthly close to monthly bounce on high volume to a very bullish close. 42 is definitely looks possible on this if bulls hold this 32 level on Chipotle. Already dumped a lot from the highs, 57%. Costco is back with another fake out. This time I actually expected Costco to dump on this breakdown and then continue move to the downside, but it's Costco and it's always going to pump. And then back to this very bullish setup on Costco. Sweep on the weekly, but I've got to wait until 929 breaks above, hold, and then a nice continuation higher, targeting new all-time highs to 1100 on this one. Very low risk longs here on Costco. CVNA, another one I was at pretty bearish, just looking at the weekly candle on it, because this name is, I don't know why it's pumping purely based on hype, but we are with another massive break on the weekly time frame, to breaking above all the swing highs. Now it's at 376. Any close above 376 on the weekly and on the daily time frame is definitely setting up for even explosive move, I guess, go a lot higher. But let's see. 375, 376, a big level. We need a bulls definitely to close above. Donald. Yeah, these are normally names that do not really trade on a daily or weekly basis. These are some names that you can just buy and hold, and then they give you nice 25, 30% move in a couple of weeks. Then it's easy money. GG is another one, but the earnings coming up. Just I guess wait for earnings. If you want to get into this one, a nice flag break here on the monthly or weekly time frame, a very clean weekly low sweep, and then pumping higher, breaking above swing highs too. Also form this bullish pocket. Any pullback can give a nice buy with the stops at definitely this 95 lows. With the targets, I mean, if one's green, I would say just keep holding. It's a nice name and it's already down a lot. So I think it's close to some sort of bottom here. So if you look at other recessionary names, they are also looking good to pump higher. Disney is, on the other hand, is pretty bearish. So far, I'd be looking to sell below one. I would just look to sell on any pump. Below 117, that's the earning day high. Any pump is going to be a sell below this 117 unless pulse breaks above it. and then it can pump higher. But so far, any pumps below are nice sells for Disney. Energy names is the one that I would probably go ahead and trade on options and probably take a month or 2 month out swings. If you look at the weekly or monthly time frame with the anchored profile from the highs, massive consolidation. It's just about to break out. It's going to be an explosive move. We have this massive volume gap. And if I look at crude oil, it also looks like it's just wants to pump on the daily or weekly time frame. Once it breaks above this 60 61 one level, at the same time all these names going to have a nice momentum back to it. I'm watching two names, DBN and Oxy. Oxy is also going to look at this massive weekly low volume chop. This is going to be a big move to the other side, and it's going to be a definitely 5 to 10 backs, and you don't want to miss that. Hood is a bullish one actually, but I don't like the close on the daily, but weekly broke above this highs. If price pulls back here and then pumps back higher, that'd be a good buy on here on Hood, or a little bit sideways, for a day or two, and then the same sort of what I told you on what was it, Meta. Just watch for that manipulation candle off open, and then decide which side you want to enter. It's pretty simple. If let's say the market is keep going higher every single day, the trend is bullish, on the market open, a little bit of red, gaps down, I would say, 0.5 to 0.67%. At that point, it just failed breakout of yesterday highs, because markets want to trap more and more people below yesterday highs, thinking that it's a gap down and the market is going to continue keep going down. And then a lot of people in the first 15-20 minutes gets in on the wrong side of a trade, and then what market does is market just pushed back higher. And then the way you find the setup is on the 1 minute time frame. Is just go on the 1 minute time frame and find that swing highs and swing low, and as price sweeping those swing highs or swing low of the day, and then let's say if it's a gap down, and then you're going to look for longs, wait for a swing low sweep, and then the price going to keep the target of high of the day and the next swing high. And that way they're going to print that nice daily manipulation candle wick on the daily time frame, and going to close above the yesterday swing highs. The same story is going to happen next day, small gap down, wick back up, and closing back above this prior day highs. So that's how the manipulation works in the trend days. Same works with the downside. I actually traded this whole downside with the members live, and only thing is gapping up just to trap more and more people thinking that's the gap up and just holding above the swing highs. Now it's going to go higher, but that's not the case. Market traps people, creates a manipulation of it, and just goes to the opposite side. Intel, already talked about this one, very bullish chart. On the monthly, bulls hold this 33 level. We can see this massive upsides of 50 and 68. Lift is another good one, long, very low risk longs and shorts too. Just because 1 level 19 is the line in sand, huge range here on the weekly and monthly time frame. So I would place my longs orders above this 19. Any daily or weekly close back below, a nice fake out. Right? Thanks for playing. So far, looks like a bullish setup above 19. And on the monthly, let's see how. Yeah, monthly not a great look, but we're gonna follow the levels. This is another small cap name that you guys can track. Macy's breaking out of this monthly range above 2050. If it's a gap down into this weekly and monthly bullish pockets, just look for reversal setups in those, and then try and target back those swing highs. I don't want to bet on this one just yet, but this can actually pay nice above 29.37. 37, the reason is because it's a monthly high. It's a prior month highs. I want to see price breaking above it, so it can actually hold this trend this time, because it's just been dump and dump this whole time. Finally looks ready to bottom of this massive monthly bullish pocket. Trying to bounce. We got this weekly sweep, a monthly sweep here. Now it just needs to prove that the bulls are really back in the game, break above this 29, and then you can actually take a long position in this and then hold for a massive target. Should be on your watch list. Nike is another one that should be on your watch list for longs. It's been just keep on dumping and dumping, but now it looks like it has found some sort of bottom. So I'll be waiting for the 65 break next week or this month. Any close above on the weekly time frame, I'm gonna trigger a nice long setup on this one. Also looks like a flag E2 into this high value zone from the bottom to highs. 61 breaking out. Very structured here on Nasdaq. Definitely one more lows coming. This one. So if any bullish setup is, if you want to see on Nasdaq, I want to see break above this 330, hold it, and then pumps back higher. But so far, very bearish looking. I think one more lows and possibly this 25, 110 coming. And is it below 31? No, not 31. 1341. This thing's dead. Back to COVID lows. Break this and then very easy shots on this one. So watch. Rivian, on the other hand, breaking out of this huge range here. Longs can definitely work. I would probably enter longs right away because it's that kind of setup on high volume to form this bullish pocket as long as price is holding above this 1471 or can have a little bit of wider stop because that's a good looking setup. Or even 14, let's just say 14, prices staying above 14, massive targets going towards 25, 28. Right? Because the only reason is if you look at monthly chart, monthly broke out on the highest volume in 2 or 3 years and also formed this nice little bullish pocket too. If you look at the volume profile, the highest, probably the highest accumulation after it's dumped almost 95%. I mean, how much more is going to go down? Not a lot, like left. So the risk for the bulls is pretty clear and pretty clean here and very low. All these small cap growth names, especially with that one more rate cut coming, even after the Fed promised that we're not going to cut rates, the uptick in the unemployment job data, but I guess they backing off that statement and the market is already pricing in 75% rate cut coming again in December. So more rate cuts, so we get that short-term pump in that growth names too. So I think all the art names gonna have a nice benefit out of it too, with the rate cut coming. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves on art. This one I'm watching. Weekly low sweep to low holds on the weekly. Nice move back up, and then art. I think we can finally see art back in 3 digits next year. And then we have another setup, 2 more setups left for. And then we have this run. Never mind. It's a nice one, but I wouldn't trade this one, but you guys can. 22 is the big level on the monthly chart. Any daily, weekly close above is a huge consolidation, a nice fake out, first target hit. Any close above is a massive move with targets of 40. Starbucks is a good one, but in this box for days, I think this next week we'll find out, which side. So looking pretty bullish to me. Lots of accumulation, and now price consolidating in this internal range and a blast higher going for the 3 digits 100 mark and then targeting this 117 level. Is a good one. I mean, if the gold's going to keep on pumping, so if you're looking at gold, definitely looks like one more high is coming to. This is a clear on the daily time frame where this wave 1, 3, 4, and 5. So one more highs on gold, probably 47, 4800, or my next target on gold. Already bought a lot of physical gold around here on this pullback and probably gonna hold it to forever, guys. So we're done with this watch list. If you guys have any questions, do let me know in the chat. All right, guys, so that was this December breakdowns, and I will upload this later on too, so you guys can rewatch it and stick to the plan. Stay patient and let's finish this year strong, and I will catch you next week with another live. Have a good day, everyone.